Joining us now direct via Zoom is Miss Maxine Pierson. She's the CEO of a company called Biotech Incorporated. MJTV is their stock symbol. Maxine, good to talk to you again.
Thank you so much, Don. Always a pleasure to see you and catch up.
Well, it's been a long time since we spoke about the company. What's new since we last spoke?
Well, a lot of different things. You know, as we've been speaking, we're living in very unusual times. Things are changing, but one thing remains constant. We are getting, or a lot of things actually, we're getting older, but we're also becoming wiser and far more cognizant of health. And there's nothing more important than our health. And the natural food market is an area in which we have always, I know you know that we have had an interest. And at this point, we are interested in the senior vital market, which is huge and will continue to be.
What kind of products are you developing for the senior vital market?
Oh, this is pretty exciting. Actually, we have chosen gummies. Everybody loves a gummy. Well, these are gummies for seniors, and there are a number of issues. Some seniors have a hard time swallowing the larger pills. These they don't. Plus, they're tasty, and they look good, and they're attractive, and they are a delivery system that's equally as good as a capsule or a tablet, and extremely popular. And what I was going to also tell you and share with you, Don, and MoneyTV, the market from the business vantage point is $74 billion a year as a forecast. Wow. That's huge. But it isn't just the money, it's an integral part of our society. We are going to be doing gummies, and one of the things are going to be a delivery system for a variety of products, one of which is the immune system, among others. And accompanying me today is our product development and our board member, Dr. Christopher Krause, and he can tell us some wonderful things about gummies and vitamins. If we could talk to him for a moment.
Actually, Dr. Krause, I'm very happy to have you on the program. I read a biography about you that you provided for us. Very impressive resume. Give us a little background information, if you would, to start off, please.
Background about me or background about the
background
products?
About you, sir, because it's very impressive.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Donald. So essentially, I got my undergraduate degree at the University of Delaware. I actually studied lipid metabolism with Dr. Mahendra Jain, who came from, started in India, got his degree in Illinois, and then came over to the University of Delaware. As a graduate student, I worked with Dr. Sidney Pesca, working in interferons and immune modulation from that point of view, especially against viruses like COVID right now. And then after going through Dr. Pesca's laboratory, I spent a couple years in the entrepreneurial circuit as a chief science officer, publishing other data. And now I'm teaching at Indian River State College in Florida, in Fort Pierce, Florida. And that's most of what I'm doing right now. So I got involved with MJ Biotech through my work with Maxine for the last few years. And when she heard about my work with the immune system and with phospholipases, thought I'd be able to synthesize multiple expertise into working on a good combination of with conditions and for like long-term diseases, working with more senior adults and so forth.
We brought a couple of slides along with you. Why don't you tell us what we're looking at?
Sure. So what I wanted to do is sort of to explain, because everyone hears about omega-3 fatty acids, everyone hears about vitamin C, but it's, without actually understanding how it works, you're just kind of taking things blindly. So I wanted to do is kind of in a very general way, talk about the framework omega-3 fatty acids work and through which vitamin C works. So omega-3 fatty acids work within the inflammatory cascade. So when inflammation occurs, it occurs when our body gets damaged. So our body rebuilds itself on a small level all the time. You have skin that replaces itself, hair that grows, well, in some people, and and various things like this. And so that rebuilding is, of course, very natural and occurs all the time. Then there's damage that has to be rebuilt. For example, if a mosquito bites you, you get a paper cut or you get an infection like COVID. And so when you have that unexpected damage, the body starts a process called inflammation, whereby once the damage occurs, Now, this damage can be caused by an infection, or it could be caused by something innocuous, for example, a muscle pull, a tendon pull, or something, or even like a sunburn, something like this. So the body has to figure out what kind of damage is occurring. Is the damage going to increase further because of an infection, or is it done? Once it kind of makes a triage as to what kind of damage is occurring, it will then go through and then try to clear out the damage, clear out the infection if it's needed. If there is one, it'll clear out the infection, then clear the damage. Only when that occurs can the tissues then rebuild. The issue that happens is with a lot of diseases, the immune system tends to overreact, kind of like how people shy away when someone screams and yells too much. There's actually a phenomenon called the cytokine storm, whereby the immune system releases a lot of hormones during infection, and it actually makes the disease worse than it otherwise would be. Anyway, so this is one of the things that influences the ability to heal tissues. And if there's too much damage, tissues don't rebuild very well, and you end up with a lot of scar tissue. And so, for example, what they noticed with people with dementia, which is a degenerative disease of the mind, people with heart attacks, they've seen scar tissue in those areas. People with atherosclerosis ends up picking scar tissue in their blood vessels. And it's the scar tissue that prevents the function of the organs and can lead to a lot of degenerative diseases. So any way that we have to lower the amount of damage the immune system causes is actually going to help prolong the lifetime of the organ by minimizing the amount of damage that occurs each time.
That's really fascinating.
I'm sorry?
That's really fascinating.
So yeah, so omega-6, like arachidonic acid, is the one everyone's heard of that starts the inflammatory cascade. And without omega-6 fatty acids, what are called essential fatty acids, inflammation cannot start. What we use also in our diet, what we get also in our diet, are what are called omega-3 fatty acids. And they act like omega-6s, except that they are a lot weaker. So instead of getting a full-blown immune system activation, which may not be necessary, you only get a partial activation of the immune system, which means instead of getting full damage, you only get partial damage. And so we're looking at using omega-3s for diseases where we tend to see a lot of overactivation. And for example, omega-3 fatty acids, we already know that they help with people with high levels of triglycerides improve their overall long-term health. And that's one of the most well-known uses of omega-3 fatty acids. Another one we're looking at is one that actually helps in the later stages when you are actually trying to rebuild the tissues. So most people have heard of vitamin C as a vitamin that you can massively overdose and it causes no bad problems. And so two things we do know about how vitamin C works is, one way is that it actually is what's called a and so when your immune system tries to kill a pathogen, it tries to use various chemicals and actually tries to burn the pathogen. And so what vitamin C does is it actually offsets that burn for your healthy tissues. Kind of acts like a fire retardant, if you want to use that. The other thing that vitamin C does, it helps mature a molecule in your skin called collagen. And so when collagen gets matured, your skin's a lot tougher. And people who do not have enough vitamin C in their diet over long, their skin ends up being very weak, easily damaged and reinfected again. And so a healthy dose of vitamin C, especially for older people where their skin isn't so easily healed, may actually help promote healing of the skin and, again, allow the tissue rebuilding to occur more efficiently and therefore the life of longer aged organs.
Well, Maxine, how soon do you expect these gummies to come to the market?
This is our plan, about 60 to 90 days. And initially, we're going to be selling online because of the COVID issues and sheer distribution in our present society. And the other thing I was going to mention that I thought was very exciting for our senior group, I see yesterday that we now have a $35 a month copay for insulin for senior citizens, of which there are millions. This is a huge market. They are our market. We're so pleased. And diabetics especially, and anybody who is challenged, and of course Dr. Krause explained it so beautifully and well, that is our market, our huge market. And we are very excited also because of the diabetics. We are going to have two lines of products, one sugar, the other sugar-free. That is our goal in the gummy market for seniors.
Once again, MJ Biotech Incorporated, MJTV is their stock symbol. Dr. Krause, Maxine, thanks so much for joining us. Fascinating discussion.
Our pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Donald, for having us on your show.